Hello there. Welcome back to Football Manager. It's been a little while, and I've been thinking about how I want to continue this series. So, if we do every single game, everything that's happening, it's going to be a pretty lengthy affair. So, in this video, we're actually going to be speeding through until we hit the halfway point of the season, basically the January trading window. I am going to have a little bit of a look and see if we can maybe get another defensive midfielder in potentially before the end of the current window. I think it ends in August. It's been a while. I'm a little bit uncertain on that. But as I said, we'll be speeding through the entire first half of the season here. And the reason for this is actually kind of twofold. Reason number one, we are Brighton. We're not really fighting for many championship, if any at all, in terms of our position in the English Premier Division. We are probably going to be able to maybe fight for 7th if we're lucky, but most likely we're going to end up around 10th. So with that in mind, I'm thinking that we're going to focus, as the series is named, on being a talent factory. So we'll be focusing somewhat on actually managing our training, getting our players here that has some great potential here. Martinez, Sarmiento, Francis, Pedro, the players that we have in the team currently, and kind of develop them, make money by basically, as I said, develop talent. We have some more coming in, unless I am mistaken, but as you can see here, Ferguson, Buono not, Barco. So we do have talent. We just need to develop them and make money with them through that. So we're going to be focusing on that for this first half of the season. Ferguson here should be a tremendous talent, and if we develop him correctly, we're going to have a world-class striker. He's also Irish, based on the British Isles, great value. But as I said, generally here, as a result, I'll be focusing on getting through the first half of the season. I'll not be showing a lot of the games, but I think I'll do a monthly update on how the games have been going, if we've had bad luck, good luck, things like that, if there's terrible performances, good performances. But unless there's something spectacular that happens during the games themselves, a hilarious mistake from our defenders or goalkeeper, open goal misses from our strikers, or generally just amazing, plays, I might add those in. But in general, for this episode, you should expect us to just quickly get to, well, you'll have to look at how long the video is, but as quickly as we can, get through this first half of the season and then have a look at the next transfer window, what we can be looking for. But as I said, in terms of what we have now for the squad, I am considering getting a proper, defensive midfielder for our current tactic that we're running. So we do have a little bit of a problem with that because we don't have any really, really good anchors as a defensive midfielder. So I'll have a look at the transfer market again. We'll see what we can find. But in general, in the current scenario, I'm thinking that this is the best way to progress this series. And also, I do need to learn this game again. So doing it like this will allow me to, well, play the game more, which is going to be great. And also, I'll be learning as I go. Now, in terms of the players here, we do actually have a list here that is probably a little bit too many. But once we get to the next transfer window, we'll see who we actually end up using, who we haven't used, and then we'll do a little bit of purging, if you will. But for now, as I said, that's going to be the plan. I'll have a look and see if we can find a decent defensive midfielder. We're probably also going to go ahead and set up a second tactic here, because just having one is going to be a little bit bad. So we'll see if we can get a secondary tactic here, probably one more attacking when we're facing lower end teams. As you can see here, weak influence, lost possession, opposition final third entries. So that was against United though, but even so, it does kind of tell us a little bit of the problems that this current strategy of mine has. So, well, as I said, probably make a more counter play focused tactic as well, so that we have more than just one card in our repertoire. So with that said, I'll get through that now, and we'll see how it actually turns out. So here we are with the secondary strategy that is a little bit more aggressive. We moved the defensive midfielder up into a midpoint. I have taken a little bit of a gander at other strategies people are doing, but I think we're going to stick with this one. I might change one of these ball-playing defenders to a no-nonsense centre-back, but for now, I think we're going to try this one. It's not anything super special, anything like that. As I said, taking a lot of advantage of what other people have posted. So I think this one should be good. I want to see, because saw a lot of strategies using basically different setups on the wing backs, like we're seeing here with the inverted wing back to a supporting winger and the wing back to a wing on attack. So this is going to be a secondary strategy. The primary strategy is going to be the same, but this one is going to probably need a little bit of work, but it should be fine. Now, in terms of the signing of an extra defender, defensive midfielder, I should say, I've been struggling to find anyone that would be decent fit, but I did find a player, if I can find my shortlist, that would be somewhat interesting here, and that is actually this guy here, Nicolas de la Cruz. So currently, he would be assumed to be a a decent addition to the team. He's not going to really fill in too many of the roles that we're adding, but at the same time, he is potentially really, really good. And according to the scouts, they would be better than the current players that we have. Lallana and Milner are both aging lads, and we're probably going to be let go after this season. And the main thing here that is really, really good is that he's actually really, really cheap. He's just 16 million, as he has a clause. So I'm thinking we're going to try and snatch him from River. There's no real other good options that I could find. Can't really play defensive midfielder, as one might get, but with that secondary strategy, this might work out well. And as he is a really decent midfielder, we might be able to move Milner down to more of a defensive midfielder role. But as I said, it's been a while since I've followed football closely, so might be making a wrong choice here. Stats are decent for what you're looking at in a midfielder, a little bit on the low side, to be fair, but we aren't the top team, so this is still, I think, a pretty decent signing for us. And honestly, let's be honest here. If he can be if the scout is right and he can be a top player for our team, because I'm going to be trusting the scouts quite a bit for this, then you can basically guarantee that we'll be getting our money back if we sell them in a year or so. So we still have a decent chunk of the budget left, 63 million. So if you use 16 here, that's fine, and we'll save the rest for the basically January transfer window. Now the others here, Mora, Estevao, no chance of getting them yet. We'll keep them there for the moment. Magno here, we are currently trying to pick up, and if we can pull that off, that would be neat. But again, we are getting into a point here where we are probably filling up the squad a little bit too much. So in January, we're probably going to be letting a decent amount of players go. For the current situation, we are going to be keeping Fati here, Ansu Fati, but honestly, we might let him go fairly soon. The benefit, of course, that is that he's really highly skilled compared to our team, but we'd probably like to, develop our own players if we can. But that is basically it for now. I'll allow some of the transfers to go through, and I'll be back if they succeed or if they fail. And honestly, that is how we're going to be doing this episode. And I'll be, of course, doing these games, and we'll be giving you a report on how they went. So let's see how we develop here. So here we are with De La Cruz's contract. It's probably on the higher end, but I'll be honest, the agent didn't really want to negotiate. Let's put it like that. Now, I do have a little bit of a concern here. Language is simple, but injury prone, and a lack of marking, as well as being a little bit awkward. Honestly, it seems to be a pretty decent player to get in here. Technique, but still, he's unhappy. That's a positive. Consistency in big matches are going to be neat. So I think he is a decent addition, particularly considering that we are going to need some some reinforcement on the midfield next year, seeing that we are probably going to have to, as I said, let go of Lallana and also Milner. So I'm going to go ahead and finalize this deal. It might be a somewhat bad deal, but I feel like it should be something that we do here. With that said, though, we'll continue where we left off. We do still have some transfers coming in on our side. In this way, it is we're waiting for Talus Magno here to decide for himself what he wants to do, and I'm a little bit unsure if we want to go ahead with this signing, but decent potential. Probably aren't going to get the money back, I think, but as you can see here, we do have a lot of players that can cover the left wing. But as I said, I still think this is good. Rest is just staff that we'll be picking up, most likely to fill up the the open positions. But for now, I'll keep on working and we'll see where we're at in probably around a month's time when we have done the games against Bournemouth, Tottenham, maybe City, and West Ham. And that should give us a good pointer, basically, these next 4 or 5 games on where we're really at. Because I feel like we were really, really lucky against United. So I'm looking forward to see if we can get keep this kind of form going. So I did forget about the fact that we were hiring Magno as well for 15.25. And if you add in De La Cruz, then we're going to be additional 16.25. So basically 31.50 or 31.5 million would make more sense. So half of our transfer budget is going to go into these 2 players. But honestly, I think this is going to be the best way forwards. De La Cruz should, bolster the midfield a bit. Magno is a decent enough talent that can wouldn't really be too useful right away, as you can see. But as he develops, as we start moving out some of these other players like Welbeck, maybe even March, he might end up being a good option for the future. So that is going to be the reason why I think he might be a good buy. Of course, we've probably overpaid a bit, but that's fine. We could potentially make a lot of money from selling him. I've definitely bamboozled myself in the contract here. Probably should have done a little bit of homework there myself. Now, the last game we played was against Bournemouth. Bournemouth here. And we ended up drawing the game. We had about 60% possession, but unfortunately we couldn't put the ball in the net. So we couldn't get the goal we needed, which is unfortunate, but that is basically just how it works sometimes. I'll also start messing around a little bit with the training setups here, but we'll have to see exactly how much I end up doing here. For now, we're going to send both of these guys on intensive language courses. Apparently, Magno doesn't need it. And we'll ask him to, go ahead and welcome the new players. And there we are. So De La Cruz here, important player in his prime years, unlikely to improve. So not really, super good or anything. But currently he is at least equal to Milner and Lallana. And he's a bit younger. And already his value has gone up somewhat. So potentially we could make the money back. But as you can see there, probably trusted the scan a little bit too much, which is fine. It happens. And in case of Magno here, a little bit lower than we estimated as well. But it is what it is. We'll just have to deal with these guys as we go. Should be fine. And for now, we'll just make sure that we get this new man into the squad, so to speak. So where is De La Cruz? There he is. We'll put him in. And I think that is just what we needed. I don't think we need to add anyone else. And we might as well just assign the squad numbers for these guys. And some people might be very specific on what squad numbers they give out, but for me here, I'm just going to give them 17, 19, which is the lowest numbers available, and that is that. We'll continue here. Tottenham City should be 2 rough games coming up. Hopefully we can at least get a point or 2 maybe away from them. But for now, as I said, we'll be just progressing the games, and we'll see where we stand after Christmas. So we reached a point now where we are going to be drawing for the UEFA Europa League. I don't know if I said this in a decent manner, but we're going to be drawing for the Europa League. And as you can see here, the teams preferred in our group. And we're just going to go ahead here and have a quick look at the draw. And apparently it even has dramatic music. Go 3x. Start draw. Gonna be spicy. Okay. This is a little bit too dramatic for me, honestly. So Liverpool's in Group G. See if we figure out where we are with our luck. Wait, did I just skip where we ended up? Went a little bit too quick there, I think. Yeah, there we are. Group D. Rangers, Sporting. I don't think that is the worst group we could have gotten at least, but yeah. this was a little bit too dramatic for me. Honestly, I wish it could just gone to the screen immediately. But we have Rangers, we have Sporting CP, we have Panathinaikos. So I don't think this is the worst group we could have gotten, honestly. But probably not the best either now looking at this. But honestly, we can still have a bit of a decent result. So last time around, we actually had our first loss here versus Tottenham. We were up 2-1. Then we had a little bit of an issue with a couple of injuries on some of our key players. Honestly, nothing major. They'll be fine in a week or two. But as you can imagine, that's going to hurt us a little bit. And we're probably going to go into another loss here. But it is a home game. And we can hope that we might be able to do something a little bit better against City. We're also not going to be buying anyone else. We're on done with deadline. So hopefully we can do well with what we have. And I realized that I made a bit of a mistake when I showed the tactic last time. This is what I set up. When I showed the tactic earlier, these two were defensive midfielders. That's on me. I really thought I had them properly set up, but yeah, I made a bit of an error. So yeah, we lack defensive midfielders, so I decided to use this as a bit of an alternate. It worked okay against Tottenham, but honestly, probably this one would have worked a little bit better. But as one might imagine, it's not always easy, and we'll be switching tactics back and forth depending on what I think would be the most effective way of doing things. Currently, we're having some problems with the goal conceded location, penalty area, long range shots, opposition in final third. So yeah, I still need to probably fix this a little bit, but as said, probably a decent enough setting. This seems to be working okay with a bit of inversion, but we might just switch these two guys over to the same setting as March has, and maybe make Lallana a bit more of a supporting attacking midfield here. I am tempted to maybe set up another advanced playmaker up here to kind of have them play off each other, and I think that might potentially work better. So it's a bit of a weird situation here, but as I said, as I learn more, as I see the games play, we might end up in a bit of a better spot. As you can see, Solly March got injured, and Mitoma also got hit with a slight injury last game against Tottenham, so that is why we are a little bit... we suffered a little bit due to that, I'll be honest. We probably could have at least gotten a draw if it weren't for the fact that we had to pull out both of our wingers, unfortunately. But it is what it is, and we'll just have to deal with it. We're reaching the end of December here, and with that we have a bit of an update on our hands here. As you can see, the full round of the Carabao Cup is going to be Arsenal, which means that we're going to most likely potentially be eliminated here. But so far, the fixtures have actually gone somewhat decently. We did lose to City, which is honestly expected, but losing by 1 goal is definitely acceptable. We beat West Ham pretty decisively here. It was a pretty good game. We pulled out a late last goal against Rangers, and Blackburn we won 3-0 against, while using most of our, younger talents to get that result. So far, things are actually going pretty well. We have October and November, and of course December here. That's going to be hell with a good 10 games, basically a game every 3 days. So we do have a lot of games to get through here before we're through to the hard point of the season, but so far, things are going fairly well. And just, again, a reminder, the tactics did get a little bit of update. This seemed to be working fairly well so far, so I look forward to seeing how we perform from here on, if we can keep things going. October has reached its end, and honestly, it wasn't the worst performance we ever had. We did lose for Arsenal in the league games before. We had a win against Panathinaikos. We had a draw against Palace, 3-2 against Lyon, which was honestly lucky for us, 2-2 against Borden. We pulled actually a pretty decent game against Chelsea, but then we immediately got destroyed by Arsenal, unfortunately. So it is unfortunate, but so far, honestly, things are going well. But we are getting into a very minor-ish problem right now, which is the fact that I have no managerial support because, well, I left some boys out of the squad. So we're probably going to have to do some sort of purge come January to try and fix the dressing room atmosphere, try and get the team cohesion up a little bit. But generally, as one would expect here, we are going to have to do a little bit of team fixing come come January. Currently, we're in 11th place with 9 matches played. We have 1 game less than the teams ahead of us, so we still have potential here for reaching that 7th place, but it's going to be a little bit difficult. But this month, honestly, has been pretty decent. So we're reaching the end of November, and as we do so, Party here has actually received itself a tie strain, which is bad because we're coming up in December and we have a lot of games there. And he's actually been kind of instrumental, not anything amazing, 6 goals, but he has one of our better players and he's on loan. So it's bad timing, let's put it like that. Now, in terms of how these games have been going, they've actually been going decently this month. As you remember, last time around we got kicked by Arsenal 4-0. Then we had a very weird game against Brentford where basically every single shot for both teams went in the goal. It was very weird to see. Then we had a 0-0, 2-2, 1-1. Honestly, this one was very disappointing because as you'll see from the match report here, we basically had full control of the game. And then Pascal Gross, our player, decided to score an own goal 4 minutes on overtime. So yeah, it was kind of unfortunate, but as you see, Francis is getting some playtime. Van Hecke is a little bit unhappy, so he's getting some playtime. Pedro, Ferguson is actually developing real nicely, as you can see. So we can be very happy with how his training is going so far. I want to see if we can see the progress. There we go. So he's going up slowly, but surely. It's working out. Our skills are either stagnant or progressing, which is what we like to see. So honestly, we'll take that with us. He is developing nicely. Money-wise, he's also becoming quite valuable. But we do have a couple of concerns here with this squad. There's a lot of players who's not really getting, let's see if we can find it, the playing time. So there is a decent amount of players here who just haven't gotten any playtime at all. Moda, McGill, Adinagro here, Lamptey, Gilmore. They have a lot of subs, but not really a lot of playtime. Same it can be said for Baleba, and Cizo, Welbeck. Welbeck actually got really upset to the point where we've actually just gotten a transfer already designed. But as you can imagine here, some of these players, they are talented, don't get me wrong. This guy has some talent, but with how things are right now, we have more talented players that can do their job. Now, Modahe, I could probably give a little bit of a try, but he's been injured for most of the season so far. So we'll have to see what we do with him. McGill is the third goalkeeper, so of course he's not getting any playtime. But Gilmore here, he's getting a little bit of playtime, but again, I'd rather play this guy over Moda, but honestly, he too has had a bit of an injury stint. So we'll have to see. Baleba, again, I think he's one that we're going to sell. Zizou here, kind of the same, one that we're just going to end up selling. They do have a lot of monetary potential value here. So I'm a little bit on the edge. Welbeck, I've already kind of sold. He requested to get transfer listed because he got so little playing time, which is kind of expected here. He's a 33-year-old forward, and we have better options, so that is fine. We've actually sold him for, as you can see here, 7.75 million, which might be a little bit little, but honestly, it should be decent enough. And Buonanotte here hasn't gotten a lot of playtime so far, but as you can see, his value's already gone sky high. And the reason why he hasn't gotten a lot of playtime is because he's been injured for a month and a half. So that slowed down that a little bit. But we are trying to get some of these talents to play games. So far, we have 18 games for Lallana. He's basically been carrying in the center, attacking midfield center here, but doing a really, really good job with goals and assists. So that is the current status before we head into the very, very painful December. And also, we did actually beat Rangers 5-0 in the last game. Lallana, Milner, Barry, Ferguson, and Mitoma, so a lot of goal scorers. But yeah, we're now going to head into the 10 games of December, and we'll have to see what we end up with in terms of you know, sales, if you will, in January. We might also try and buy some reinforcements. We'll have to see how the team gets shuffled. So far, we are square with Sporting here in terms of the result. So I believe we are winning because we scored 2 goals away against them. That's why we're leading currently. Well, it was 0-0, basically 2-2 at Sporting's home stadium, and then 0-0 at ours. So as long as we beat Panathinaikos, we should be fine here in just directly going to the best of 16, the quarterfinals. Is that quarters? No, quarters is best of 8. Yes, it's been a while. So best of 16, not quarterfinals. Although I wish that we can get there. Now, in terms of the fixtures here, it's not really super terrible. I should say what they have. Everton can be a bit of a struggle potentially. They've had some good results. They're currently ranked 5th. But generally here, Fulham might be a little bit of a hard nut, same way with Liverpool. But generally, it's not a super hard December in terms of the fights. So honestly, so far, I'd say this season has gone fairly well. And I just want to have a quick look at the dynamics. And as you can see, the managerial support has been kind of corrected somewhat. We're back up to average. So yeah, I do have a number of players that don't get on well. So as I said, we might potentially do some purging here. Lamptey, I'll have to see what we do with Julio. Gilmore, I think I want to try and keep him if I can. Van Heck and Igor, we're both going to give them some playing time. Honestly, I might want to try and keep both of them currently. Keep defense kind of stocked, but again, we have too many players in basically every position, and that is a bit of a problem. It's going to be great now for December when we have so many games. For the rest of the year, it's just going to be pain. So let's get through December and then see what we do when we start getting closer to the transfer window. We're currently in a Liverpool game. This is going well. A pretty decent attack from our side. They've actually put Becker in goal. And, well, Alisson Becker, that would be. I don't know why I thought it was a different keeper for a second. But so far, things are actually going well into our advantage here. We don't really have possession, but at least we are holding our own. And this is basically what we've been seeing for the most part for our games. And we'll see how this Liverpool game develops. But honestly, so far, I'm a bit surprised about how well this strategy works. But honestly, it's very weak defensively. So we're still doing the same one that I showed earlier. But currently, we are in a little bit of a not the best situation, shall we say. What do we want to do? Honestly, we're doing well. Keep working hard until full time, like the assistant recommends, is probably good enough. And they're all delighted, which is kind of concerning at this point. Because potentially, we could see some... yeah, problems. But we'll speed through this game. We'll see if Liverpool can pull something out and if we can have a good result here. Liverpool has scored, and the goal has been disallowed for offside, which is kind of what we expected. But we're currently 84th minute here. We have been doing well. Honestly, it's kind of neck and neck right now. So I think we can be happy with how this game has gone, even if we were to lose it within the next 6 minutes of overtime. But yeah, it's been pretty good. Honestly, we don't really have any better players to switch in, even though a lot of them are tired right now. Luckily, that didn't turn into penalty. Dangerous corner here, honestly. Let's see if they can do something within the last 6 minutes of stoppages. But honestly, we could, I guess, try and slow things down, but that's kind of what we expected would happen there, honestly. And it is just a tad unfortunate that we couldn't hold it till the end here at Anfield. Okay, we might have one more opportunity here. Or we might give Liverpool an opportunity. That was a decent shot, but that looks like it's going to be it for this game. Maybe not. We'll see. Still going. There we go. It is over. We managed to draw Liverpool at Anfield. And honestly, I think we should be very happy about that. So, look at numbers. We should have won that. So, despite this result, trust the process. I guess we should. I feel like this is a little bit arrogant. But sure, we'll accept what the assistant's going for here. I need to win back the dressing room. It is what it is. Darwin Nunes' dramatic late equalizer has been a real kick in the teeth. How will that moment affect the team? It'll hurt, but I think we'll take the positives with us. And honestly, that is kind of how I feel from that. You can see currently we are almost close to halfway through the season. We have 30 points. We're currently in 6th place. Things are actually looking really, really good if you look at it from that perspective. And as we might expect here, we are currently in December still, 23rd. We have 2 more games. I think we'll get these through out of the way before we call the end of the episode, but we'll just have a quick look at how things have been going. So, in December, we did win our first game against Nottingham, draw against Everton, then we lost against Fulham before we got a 1-0 after a hammering against Panathinaikos. We had another one of those games where everything goes in both ways. Luckily, once again, it went our way before we pulled a 3-0 against Aston Villa. So, for UEFA Group D, we are through to the best of 16, if you will. Round of 16, I guess it's actually called. And that's going to be good for us in our economy. I do have a couple of problems there. That is mainly squad being unhappy. You can see it's up to 7 now. Steele wants a new deal, and honestly, it's not a terrible idea to give him a new deal. But if you consider the fact that he's A, 33 years old, and B, we do actually have Bart here, who's kind of an up-and-coming goalkeeper. It isn't probably going to get super good here, any way, shape, or form. He has a longer contract. He is younger. He'll probably be staying here for, well, way longer. And it's pretty rare that you get a goalkeeper injury anyways. So I think we're just going to go ahead and potentially sell Steele this transfer window. He has been playing most of the games this first half of the season. But I am kind of cruel in the way that I will be handling my players. Basically, if they are problematic like this, unhappy with playing time, although I do need probably to reconsider players like Tariq here, who's actually probably more useful than I initially thought. But yeah, it's not midfield right that I want to get a report on. It would be for the defender right. And as you can see here, he's probably one of our better ones right now. But the Veltman here, again, is an older one. We do have the 2 talents that we bought, but even then, we're kind of lacking in right-wing defenders. This guy is actually pretty decent for that. He's quick. So we might keep him and basically put him into a rotation there. But again, it's a long road still to go. And I'm actually just going to kind of end it here. I feel like we've done a lot and kind of gotten through the first half of the season. It's taken a little bit longer than I maybe thought it would. But even then, let's say that we haven't actually gone through the half. We haven't actually gone through half the season, maybe. Well, kinda. Let's say that we've gone through half-ish of the season. And we'll have a look at Burnley and Crystal Palace and our trade policy, if you will, what we end up doing in terms of transfers come January. We do have Adrian here coming in, attacking midfielder on the right side. And in terms of the reports, I haven't actually scouted him. So that makes me question if I bought him or if someone else bought him. So we'll have to see. But yeah, actually I can't remember. It's been a while. Again, I even forgot that Allison's last name was Becker. So that is kind of how out of it I am right now in terms of football. So I really need to just get a couple of seasons under my belt, get back in with it with all the names and everything, and then you'll probably see me as a little bit more knowledgeable and probably enjoy this a lot more without ripping out your hair. So again, hope you've enjoyed just this kind of speeding through the first season. We'll probably be doing somewhat the same for the second half, but of course we'll also be starting scouting then as youth intakes become a thing. And I'll be looking forward to seeing if we can pull off. Sorry, I'll be looking to see if we can pick up some good talents, and I'll also be going through the team here and potentially do a little bit of purging. And let's say if we could for instance sell Julio here for 50 million, I probably agree to that. So let's see if we can find some good deals. Maybe we might pick up some deals ourselves. But as I said, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. I basically spent the last minute trying to say thank you for watching. Bye bye. So I'll leave you now. Sorry for messing around so much. Thank you. Bye bye.